So Bichette hit his first grand slam. Jock Peterson silences Hecklers, and the New York Mets mount the greatest comeback of the season. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get into all those stories, I'm gonna need you to do a couple of things for me, please. First, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Next, go over, smash the red button, go subscribe. That is the best way to show your support here on the channel. Then go over, ring that bell, get notified, so you know when exactly I am pumping out great baseball content all season long. And finally, if you want to get active, go down below in the comment section. I would love to hear your thoughts on the stories I'll be covering here today. And now, after a tough loss on Sunday to the Astros in Houston, Toronto would come home to open up a 3-game set against the Red Sox on Monday. Now, the Jays seemed to be flying high in the first couple of innings as Gurriel got the Jays on the board first with a home run in the 5th inning. And just 2 innings later in the 7th, Jays third baseman Matt Chapman drove a ball over the center field wall to extend the Blue Jays lead by a pair. However, the Sox would respond in the 8th with 2 runs of their own. The first came via a Kike Hernandez RBI ground ball to left field, which scored Dahlbeck. Then a few batters later, Verdugo had a sac fly to center. This drove in Christian Arroyo from third to tie things up at 2. But in the Jays' half of the 8th, the 24-year-old shortstop, Bichette, stepped up to the plate with the bases juiced and launched his first grand slam of his career over the right field wall to break the 2-2 tie and put Toronto up by 4. Now, this was a big moment for not only the Jays, but Bichette personally, because the star shortstop hasn't homered since the second game of the season and came into Monday with 9 strikeouts in his last 5 games. Alright, for topic number 2, let's head to Milwaukee and recap Game 1 of this Giants and Brewers series. Now, it was a reigning NL Cy Young Award winner Corbin Burnes on the mound for the Crew, while the Giants looked to their bullpen to get through Game 1. And now on the home side, Corbin Burnes was able to put together a strong outing, going 6 2/3 with 2 hits allowed, no runs, 2 walks, and 11 strikeouts, while the Giants' pen combined for 9 strikeouts while only allowing 2 runs, 1 earned, on 5 hits and just 1 walk. Now, it was the 8th inning where things got interesting because the Crew was leading 1-0, and a Giants outfielder Jock Peterson stepped to the dish. And it's safe to say he did not get a warm welcome in his 4th and final at-bat, because it seemed that fans who were seated on the upper left-hand side of home plate were giving the Giants outfielder a tough time, as exemplified here as a man mocks Jock and says to go cry about your 0-for-2 performance, as he was up to that point. However, Jock did not seem fazed by this fan's obscene gesture, and in fact used that gesture as motivation to get locked in his final at-bat. Well, he was locked in alright, because in an 0-1 count, Jock Peterson ripped a breaking ball over the wall in center field, which tied the game up at 1. Now, luckily, the Giants and Jock got to stick it to the Brewer faithful and that fan, as San Francisco would go on to win the game by the score of 4-2. And now, finally, the Mets continued their winning ways on Monday, even with their backs up against the wall in the 9th inning against the Cardinals at Busch, because the Mets simply refused to concede games. It's difficult not to see them in a different light as a result, okay? Now, with 2 men on base and 2 outs in the 9th inning on Monday, Dominic Smith hustled to beat out an infield hit near the first base bag. Now, as Smith slid headfirst into first base, Travis Jankowski and Jeff McNeil both motored around the bases to score the tying and go-ahead runs in a 5-2 win over the Cardinals at Busch. So it was a crazy game and comeback for the Metropolitans on Monday night against the Redbirds, but I will say it wasn't the craziest comeback I've ever seen, okay? This occurred about 5 years ago when the Tigers came back from a 7-run deficit against the Rays in Tampa Bay. Now, they would go on to win that game by the score of 8-7. That was crazy. It all happened in the 9th, kind of like this one, but the deficit was a little bit less difficult to accomplish for the Mets than it was the Tigers way back then. But at any rate, that is all I got for today's video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts of all the stories I covered here today. As always, you know I will catch you guys later.